because within 5 minutes we are going to start our agenda today. Then we kindly invite all the participants who sit at the back. Would you mind to please move forward because we're about to start our agenda today. Please. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we cordially invite you to be seated in the prescribed main of the hall. Within 2 minutes, we are going to start our agenda today.
Test. Check. Check.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Dean of Education Faculty, Prof. Nina Nurmila, PhD, along with all faculty members of the Faculty of Education, Universitas Islam International Indonesia, and all fellows of IIIU students, both Master and PhD program. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the agenda, firstly, let's raise our praise to the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Through Allah's mercies and blessings, we are here. And secondly, let titans salawat and salam to our beloved messengers of Allah, Rasulullah, peace be upon him. Welcome to today's lunch talk sessions, learning through playing. I am Leo. It is an honor for me to be a moderator of this event. Let's open the lunch talk by reciting Basmala. Step on the following agenda is opening remark will be delivered by the Dean of Faculty of Education, the Honorable Prof. Nina Nurmila, PhD. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Leo. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. Very good afternoon, everyone. Very nice to see you in person because I remember last month when Ibu Vivi gave a talk, I did it online. So I'm very glad I am back again to give introductory short speech for the lunch talk today in person in front of you. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. This is, I think, the fifth week of your semester. Yeah, I hope well all being adjusted, especially for the new students, and Leo is one of the students. Yeah, and today we will listen to our scholar in residence talk, Dr. Taufik Ihsan Slamet, and He will talk about his expertise on learning through playing games as pathway to collaboration and social change. Yeah, I think most people will love playing games, so it is yeah, it is fun, and this is a good alternative to boring methods of only giving lecture. And the good things also is that Dr. Taufik Ihsan Slamet is not only uh, will give you today's lecture on maybe a bit theory, but also this will be followed up by two workshop sessions that you can apply and participate. Yeah. So I would like you all to take advantage of this opportunity because as an educators, I think we need to have skills of empowering so many methods of teachings. Yeah. And here he will share his expertise on how games or playing can improve your collaboration and social change. So that's what I would like to hear. Well, if we imagine the game, oh, many games requires collaboration, but I would like to hear from him today about how the game can make social change. So well, I'm looking forward to listening to Dr. Uh, Slamet's speech today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Also, you would like to use that?
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the main agenda, sharing and presentations. And first of all, allow me to briefly introduce the speakers today. Mr. Taufik Islan Slamet, PhD, is a lecturer in the Department of Educational Technology or Faculty of Education, Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. He earned his bachelor and master's degree in educational technology from UPI Bandung and UM Malang. And later, he completed his PhD in Instructional Systems of Technology with a minor in Media Arts and Sciences in Indiana University, Bloomington, United States of America. Mr. Taufik's career bridges industry and academia, beginning in an IT company serving healthcare and education sectors before moving into the higher educations. His research passions lies at the intersections of instructional design, game-based learning, and education for sustainability, where he explored creative ways to make learning both meaningful and engaging. Well, without further ado, let's give a round of applause for Mr. Taufik Ihsan, PhD. The floor is yours.
Wow, there's so many of you. This is scary. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everybody. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all, faculty of education community, especially to Prof. Nina as the dean and to all the amazing professors in the faculty, as well as all the amazing students, both MA and PhD. I visited several classes and I found the classes were very lively, engaging discussions, thought-provoking, and it was so constructive. You know, each of one contributes to different idea, and it was really amazing learning experience even for me. My name is Taufik. In these occasions, I'd like to share what I've been doing for the past maybe 5 to 6 years about my experience in studying about how games can be used to foster learning, i.e. collab and also social change. Okay, so I guess the host has beautifully introduced me, and we also are, wearing the same shirts. I think there's something we should really talk about what to wear before we meet, I guess. So I guess there's not so much to tell about me, but if I may, I'd like to say something about myself in stats. Where do I point this one? This one? Oh, that one? Like a cluster? That's it. It's not working. Next. Next. Okay. That is the power of voices. Oh. Okay. So Mas Sofyan is the second slide. Okay, all the way up to the second slide. Okay, that's okay. So I did my undergraduate degree for 5 years. I completed my master in 2 years. And then, there you go. The next one is I completed my doctorate in 5 years. I just completed last October 2024. And next one is I did my next one, 2 years in business. It was in healthcare industry, informatics system. We provide informatics system for hospital and also insurance company. And next one, I have been in academia for 5 years. It's considerably not really long time. I'm still in my embryo phases of academia. And next one is that I have 60 minutes for these presentations. I hope it's gonna take less. I'm not gonna make you bored along the presentation. Okay, next one. So it was really challenging to design these presentations. I've been exploring so many ways to introduce what I've been working on. And I think these three guiding questions will kind of guide us along the way, our presentations. So hopefully I can deliver it at my best to kind of uncover the world of games in education, also learning. Next one. So I guess it makes sense when I talk about game-based learning. We will play a short and simple game, and then we will try to understand how really game can, help us to learn. Okay, so I'm going to show you a short, simple game called Digital Escape Room. So if you have heard about escape room, where you as a player are located and locked in an enclosed room, and what you have to do is to unlock the door by using all the riddles around the room, and then you have a combination, like a 6-digit combinations to unlock the door. So that's the same mechanism as escape room, but this one is we are playing on digital escape room. So I will control the page through my laptop. Mas Sofyan, could you allow me to share my screen? Okay, so for this particular activity, I'm gonna need you to use your mobile because you're gonna kind of scan a QR code that will appear on the screen. Okay, I'm waiting Mas Sofian to allow me to share my screen. There you go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the activity, the game activity that we're playing is called Operation Firewall, the cybercrime investigator. So in this case, in this story, you are playing as a cybercrime investigator. Okay, one day a hacker penetrated your databases. They are stealing your important databases, but luckily you, as the officer, managed to um, attain this suspect's personal informations. You got his address, you got his name, date of birth, all these personal informations, right? But your data was stolen. So as soon as you get this suspect's address, you and your team rush to this address and found that in that house was nobody is present. Okay. Now, as I said, you have managed to kind of gain his personal informations. You have on this file, so I would recommend you to scan this QR code. Let me zoom out a little bit so you get better visual. Okay, this is going to be fun, hopefully. Okay. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can see like a piece of informations, name, date of birth, address, and all these personal informations. Can see it? Everybody seeing it? Yeah? Okay, sounds good. Okay, now you are at this suspect's house, right? So let's start it. Okay, you enter his house, nobody's there, but all you can see is computer stations inside the living room. And you think that, well, there's the only thing that is meaningful for our investigations, right? It's only the computer inside the house. So as common computer users, we usually create this password to log into our computer, right? Well, you definitely don't have that password, but you can definitely use his personal informations to penetrate the computer, okay? So you're gonna need 6 digit of password based on his personal informations. And the clue is that the password is 6 digits, and this is very common informations that we are using to create our own password, okay? 6 digit. Okay. Take a look at his personal informations and then take a guess. What would be the common password that these people use? Okay, say it. What's the 6 digit? Shout out if you know the answer. Come on. I have a little treat for those of you who can uh, who can answer correctly the questions. Okay, 6 digit. Anyone? Yes, we had a gentleman in the middle. What's the answer? 89. Let's see. The password incorrect. I guess yes. I think that was a perfect. Yeah, go ahead. 07. Eight, nine. Let's give it a try. Hey, hooray! Lagi dua sama Alpha ya. Alpha also was contributing, so I get a 2 piece of it. Okay, we're in. Okay, we're inside his computer. Okay, let's continue it. All right, so we are inside the computer, and then we found this very suspicious folder called clients. Okay, so well, we are always how do you put it? We are curious about inside the folder what this folder is about, and then when we click, it asks us for another 6 digit of password. But for this time, the clue is it's going to be 6 letters, perhaps related to the most important things for the suspect. What would be these 6 letters? Six letter based on his personal informations. And this is the common informations that we use to create password. Okay, want to take a guess? Sarah J. Sarah J. Hey, we're in. Are you good at catching? Okay. Because I'm not good at throwing, so yeah, help. Okay, last one. So it's gonna be the last step. Let's continue. And this one is much more complex, I guess. So we are arriving at his browsing history, right? Well, if you're investigating someone, then you might wonder what this person are usually exploring in his internet activity. All right, so you are exploring his browser, but again, it requires a password. Okay, but this time it's gonna be a much more complex one. It requires 9 digit alphanumeric. It's combinations between letter and number, and it's a combinations of 2 different and personal informations. What do you think the password would be? What? Pixel? What? Pixel? 1989. And that's where the game's ending. Okay. I think I have another one. Okay. Okay, this is the last one. I don't have any other money to buy. So, okay, thank you so much. Thank you for playing with me. So yeah, Mas Sofian, thank you so much. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and then you can return my slide. Hopefully this one is working right now. Right, I guess before we move to the main topics about game-based learning, I would kind of a little bit explain about the field where I came from. So it's called educational technology. The simplest way about educational technology for me is about understanding context. It's about understanding how humans learn at their best. So we, as instructional designers, can create a good learning environment that really facilitated human to learn and improve their performance. I think that's my own definition of educational technology, but it's kind of more simple way to explain this rigid diagram. So we're dealing with some relevant fields about learning, about design, technology, society, and also system. And the last one about sustainability, I added it myself because I think when educational technologists do their work, they have to think about the ethical practices. They have to think about how do we make this technology sustainable for the next generations. And when you ask scholars in educational technology or people who work on educational technology projects, it is very common that you will hear they do not really focus on particular technology. They may change the technology that they are focusing on along the way the technology advancement. So for example, I started with developing, learning about instructional video, moving on to the web-based learning. I did my dissertation study in gamifications, and right now I am kind of pivoting to game-based learning. The technology might change, but the core of my work is the same, which is instructional design. We are finding a way how to assimilate technology into learning process. Okay, now we're moving on to the games, gamification, game-based learning, and collaborations. What the heck are these terminologies, right? So hopefully in these presentations, I can guide you along the way to make sense what these terminologies really mean in education and learning. So how many of you have played this game? It's a long time ago, Bambang. Okay. Anyone on the back? Have you ever played this game, Monopoly? Yeah? Okay, that's good. What's the ultimate purpose of playing this game? What's the end goal of playing this game? Exactly, Bapak. Being rich and famous, right? So what Monopoly games give us is what I can kind of elaborate is that the game give a sense of purpose for being rich and famous. They have story about this, which I later at Monopoly seems like how do I put it correctly? Story about the economy. They have reward, monetary reward, right? They have punishment. If you remember, there's like a jail. You can be in prison. They have rules, strategy, and also the progress, right? So Monopoly gives this sense of why games are fun to play. Um, we're gonna walk through for a while about these terminologies and then how they differ. So games are related to a more entertaining purposes, right? But serious games is more like the use of games to teach player for a particular skill set or knowledge. For example, if you have played the bus simulator or flight simulator, right? So all those kind of simulations kind of train us how to operate bus and airplane, but in a more entertaining way. So serious games is for serious purposes. It's not fully for entertainment, but it teaches us a particular set of knowledge and skills. Now, it differs with gamifications, which is what I did for my dissertations. The gamifications is the utilizations of game design element into non-game context. And the game-based learning is mostly used by scholars to define the use of game in K-12 or in university or higher education setting. There are many of learning theories or educational theories that can explain why games are a good means to foster learning. And these are some of those studies were kind of oftenly cited by the studies, publications. The first one is about self-determination theory. This is mainly kind of coming from psychology area. The self-determination theory tells us about how people are motivated to pursue a particular goal, right? So in self-determination theory, there are three reasons why people are motivated. The first one is autonomy. The second one is connectedness, competences, and then the third one is relatedness. Okay, games based on the self-determination theory, games give the player a sense of autonomy. It gives the player about sense of control, about in the game environment, we really are like an independent player. We can control everything without really taking risks that gives us consequences to our real life. Games are really safe environment to make mistake. That's why games are really great for learning environment, because learner can really try anything inside game environment without any taking destructive risks on their real life. And the second one is Flow Theory by Csikszentmihalyi. It took many months for me to pronounce his name, so I'm kind of proud that I can finally be able to pronounce the name correctly. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. So he's a psychologist, Russian psychologist. He coined the term flow theory. The flow theory means it's kind of the situations where humans are immersed in a particular activity without feeling like a disturb to any surrounding. Really high peak of focus, right? Maybe one time you played the game and then you didn't realize it was already 1 a.m. Or maybe you read something like a novel. Oh my God, it's 4 a.m. Is it like a subuh azan or isha azan, right? That explain the flow conditions of peak performance, right? So games are actually effective to bring the player to these conditions, psychological conditions. And it's about also social learning theory from Albert Bandura, a very famous educator, American educator, psychologist. Games create the sense of collaboration between player. It also ties with Vygotsky theory about constructivist learning theory or social cognitivism. So games are really great environment for a player to kind of observing, imitating other player, so they can assimilate what other players do and internalize that actions or kind of skills into their own characters. Okay. Now, in understanding games, there are many frameworks available in scholarly databases, but one of the most popular framework, it's called MDA framework: mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetic. So whenever you play game, you may want to try to identify the component of these three aspects: mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetic in this particular games that you're playing. So mechanics, meaning the game design element itself. For example, points, badges, leaderboard, progress tracking, or the character, the avatar. That's we call it game mechanics. And the dynamics is that the action that the player take engage with all these game mechanics. For example, in order to gain point, you have to um, score one goal. For example, that's the dynamic. And the aesthetic, meaning the the emotions that were produced from interacting this from the interactions with this game element. So aesthetic meaning you get sense of competitions, collaborations, you get the sense of celebrations. That's the aesthetic of game element. Okay. Now we're gonna take all these game design elements that were to non-game context that is called gamifications. Gamification is not really a brand new idea. It has been implemented for the past 30 years. Well, initially, gamification was used for business, industries, for consumer engagement, for consumer loyalty, right? So, for example, this one is from KFC and Habitat. They created this game where player can kind of accomplish certain points, and that points can be used to have some discount in the store. any other purposes. And this one is interesting project called Fold It. It's an online simulation games. It's a crowdsourcing platform where players can design their own DNA, right? I'm not gonna speak more about DNA because I don't know anything about DNA, but this particular game allows us to try how do we design gene DNA in the simulations. And it was so surprising because the researchers behind the platform, they were able to solve the riddle of HIV virus within 3 months. Oh, sorry, within 3 weeks. Okay, this long-standing problem for 15 years have been challenging for the researchers. But when they use game like Fold It and they publish it, they crowdsource to all people around the world, and people are starting to kind of learning how to um, design gene and DNA. The researchers see it and then they found some of good design options, then they implement it to the real experiments. It was published in Nature around 2010. You can see it. The last author was Fold It Player, which consists of 57,000 users. So this might be the paper who has the most authors in it. Oops. And not only on crowdsourcing, but there is also a famous project in social sphere, this one called Parking. This one is another gamification platform where people are contributing to tell other people, hey, there's a parking lot available in this space. So people from outside the city, they can already know how there's already parking spot in this city, so I don't have to drive around to find available spot. I just look up at these apps and in this city, and then I can see a couple of available parking spot. It's very difficult to find parking lots in big cities, maybe in Jakarta, in any major cities in the world. So what I did study at the first was about gamifications, right? So I was really interested about how really game can change people's behavior, how people contribute, and how people really learn something. So the first study that I did was about systematic literature review through a meta-analysis. I collected several studies that are related to gamification in education. We did at the first systematic literature review, I conducted qualitative analysis until I give up. I don't think I was really ready to conduct qualitative study at that point. So I was streamlining my study to change from qualitative to quantitative. And I found it's more feasible and doable for a short period of time to conduct meta-analysis other than systematic literature review. At that time, I was battling with the time limit, and I thought qualitative is really deep. You have to have really master all this knowledge that you're investigating. But for quantitative, you have but you have to be able to crunch the number and then interpret it. It's really different with systematic literature review for qualitative study. What I found in this study is that gamification has really positive outcomes for learning from the two perspectives, behavior and then attitude. From cognitive or academic achievement and attitude. Students in this study who use gamifications, they tend to invest more for learning, improve their knowledge, and also they have more positive attitude towards learning experience compared to students who do not participate in gamified learning. So based on that study, I designed my dissertation study in gamifications. So I use my previous outcomes from that meta-analysis to kind of design an online gamified discussions. It's called Berguru. I started developing it on 2018, and I was able to kind of conduct a field experiment around 2021 during the COVID period. So basically, the idea behind Berguru is about online discussion platform for pre-service teacher educations. So the participants in this platform were pre-service teachers, pre-service teacher students. They came from various discipline, and the goal for this platform is to give them a learning environment where they can engage in online discussions. So that's basically it. And in this Berguru, I kind of incorporated a couple of the game design elements. As I noted here, we got points, badges, dashboard, leaderboard, and also the main activity, which is online discussions. So this is not really games. This is not really for entertainment purpose, but this one is purely academic learning environment, people having discussions, but when they publish something, they get the points. When someone kind of like or comments their threads, they also get the points. And those points are accumulated, those points are counted, and the amount of points they are collecting gonna be determining their positions in the leaderboard. So that's the design idea behind this system. And then by using my experience in business, I created this. It's called use case diagram. Every system informations project, they got to have use case diagram. It's more like a flow chart that shows us how this platform is working, right? So in my study, I created these two different platforms, the gamification that use leaderboard, and the other one did not use leaderboard. So why leaderboards? So in this particular study, I was intrigued to see whether competitions has something to do with students' participations and engagement. Okay, and then we are analyzing from different point of view, behavioral and cognitive engagement. We were observing how many discussion threads that the students are making, how many points are collected. Comparing two different platforms with competitive and non-competitive platform. I don't think we need this one. And the result was unsatisfactory, actually. It was, you can say it's a failed experiment. We didn't really arrive in the expected outcomes. We did not really see significant findings or result, p-value, not really less than, what's Pak Bambang? 0.05. That's the expectations for all quantitative researchers. P-value less than 0.05. And then, but yeah, luckily, at least we managed to publish the paper by saying that, well, competitions did not have anything to do with students' participations or their cognitive ability. So that's where I arrived in game-based learning by studying gamifications. Now, this is kind of a current project that I am investigating. It's about non-digital technology. So we are really bombarded with digital technology this day, right? Everything is available on our mobile or our devices. But I think we need to take a look at another aspect of non-digital technology and how non-digital technology can create something else, can support equity, equality to other group of community who are not able to afford digital technology. So that's what I'm interested in at the moment. Drawing from my experience during my doctorate level, we designed a couple of game-like activities with using non-digital, like a physical materials, right? So, for example, to me, why games or game-based learning are interesting, because game-based learning is really one good alternatives to explain complex concept, right? So that's my main takeaway from studying game-based learning. So for example, this one is about the topic about sorting algorithm. So one of the topic in computer science, how computer order the data. And the image on the left is that some scholars who use a map, really huge map, to explain to the children, to the school students, about how computer order the data. And that's also what we did in our study. Mas Sofyan, could you play the video? So in this case, all the students in the classroom, they were pre-service teacher students. They were undergraduate students pursuing a major in educations. They're from science, social science, arts, languages, history, also counseling, and also the math. So in this activity, we are teaching them the concept of sorting algorithm, right? However, we are teaching them, we're teaching computer concept without computer. That's kind of the big theme in this activity. So basically, at the beginning, they were given a random data. For example, we gave them like letter A to E, for example, and then we kind of randomize it. So everyone was given different letter, and following the path like a red and blue, they end up finding themselves holding an orderly alphabets from A to the N. That's the basic idea of sorting algorithm. We teach the concept. We were kind of proud of it because we were able to teach computer concept without even using computer equipment. And we thought that what would be happening if we use these particular materials to teach computer science to people in remote areas, to marginalized people, people who most of the time underrepresented with lack quality of education. That would be something else. Yes. And it happened eventually. One of my students in undergraduate degree, she came from a very far away from eastern side of Indonesia, from Papua, Pegunungan Bintan. So in this final project, so created a model, a mock-up of these boxes and kind of scale using wood and a little bucket with a couple of boxes, small boxes, and she filled up each boxes with different amount of marbles. So you cannot see really the difference of the boxes since it's, you cannot see it from the outside, but if you put it two boxes in that scale, you're gonna see which one is heavier, right? So this particular media was meant to teach her students about sorting algorithm. And the students who created it, she was from Papua province. She told me that there was no computer, even electricity was scarce. So it was impossible to teach computer science with computers. So by using available ready materials, she managed to teach computer science in her region. So these recent projects that I did, I just completed this project on August. We call it DC Goes Rural. It's DC stands for Digital Citizenship. So if you heard the term for the first time today, digital citizenship is about knowledge and skill set. The best way to navigate digital world, right? So digital citizenship consists of these following topics, from healthy habits to information literacy. Now, in this project, I collaborate with a local madrasah aliyah in suburb Malang. It's about 1.5 hour driving from my campus. So in this madrasah, we call it pretty much like a rural area, right? So in this particular project, I and my team was kind of introducing the teachers about the importance of digital citizenship for their students. So one of the activities inside this teacher professional development is this one. It's a game-like activities. We call it breakout activities. It's very popular, familiar. The game called originally Breakout Box, right? I've been looking for the specific box that can really facilitate the game, but unfortunately I couldn't find any boxes that really fit the game, so I bought these boxes. Are you familiar with these boxes? Where do you always find these boxes? Yes, it's donations. It's a mass, right? This is Kotak Amal, actually, right? I didn't find any perfect box, but I was desperate, and then okay, I'm just gonna buy anything I can find in Shopee, and then found this Kotak Amal. Okay, let's call it Breakout Amal then, right? So instead of Breakout Box, we call it Breakout Amals. So basically, what happened beyond this game is that it's the similar like an escape room. You have a riddles, right? So you have a riddles that you have to solve by using clue and clue in that paper to unlock um, the lock in the box, right? So the topics in that game is about digital citizenship. So for example, in one of the boxes, you have to unlock the box by arranging which particular activity are the most dangerous to do in online world, right? So you have this randomized online activity and you have to arrange it, and then you will find, if you correctly arrange it, then you can find the exact number to unlock the box. So a couple of video I can show you. So pictures, we can write like a hidden, how do you put it, like a hidden marker in the paper, and then all the participants really need to use like UV light to identify the number. And once they figure out the number, and if it's correct, then the boxing will open and give you another riddle at the end. So this is why I'm so motivated in the project of non-digital technology, because to me, non-digital technology is not only about equality or equity to the non-major communities, but it also about, there's a theory about about non-digital technology that is called embodied cognitions, that our mind is not only constructed solely by our cognitive functions, but also through our body movement, sensing, interactions with other people, with environment. So the concept, the mind that we have right now is actually combinations by several factors that is included physical movement. That's what I understand about the theory behind this non-technology game-based learning. So for the past 1 year, I've been working with a scholar from UK based university, Goldsmith University of London, with Department of Design. I was so fortunate to join this project about transnational exploratory educations. One of the goals of this project is to create sustainable education technology in Indonesia by using design thinking and design science concept. We kind of coined this terminology called compassionate technology, meaning that we put the actual user of our technology as the central of design process. So we're talking about justice in design. We are thinking that design or any other design is really a good place to exercise your freedom. It's a good place to foster justice and to question power. So design, based on I know for the past 10 years, is only about solitary actions. You have the designer, yeah, design. But for the past year, I really learned a lot that I really learned a lot that design is not only solitary actions, but design is more like how do I put it correctly? A collaborative actions with relevant stakeholders. So through this project, I learned that when we are designing something, we have to think about what the actual user of our technology will be thinking about our technology. So I applied it in one of my projects when I did MOOC video about data literacy, or MOOCs, you can say it. So I practiced this approach. I invited some of teachers in Malang, high school level. They came from different subjects: math, biology, history, tourism, and also computer science. 5 teachers in this project. I was intensively listening to what they say about how they use data on daily basis, how they communicate data with to parents, to school teachers, and what kind of information in data literacy that would be beneficial for them. So throughout 4 sessions of workshop, I was successful in understanding their needs, and then we to design a MOOCs project. Okay. So we're not really good actors, so you can see the face was really serious. Oh man, it's really difficult. Okay, but the idea is that what I want to tell you is that no matter what kind of technology, whether it's like a computer, non-technological computer, when you are designing something for a group of people, then you have to involve at least the end user that will use your technology. That's really important point. From this activity, I know that I found out there's a challenge when they are communicating data with teachers. For example, some parents, sorry, not to teachers, but to parents. Some parents are resistant about the data that the teachers are providing. They sometimes don't believe that the data really represent the profile of their children, right? That's a challenge, okay? I wouldn't know that kind of challenge if I didn't invite the teachers in this workshop, but throughout the workshop, there's so meaningful new branding informations to me. Even for the game, there was a Breakout Amal. I was designing it based on a couple of iterations of workshop with the teachers. Now we're moving forward at least to the end of these presentations, which about the project I'm currently working on. This is just a beginning. This is still the embryo of projects, but I'm really interested, motivated to figure out how this project will map out in the future. So it's about game-based learning in education for sustainability, which is maybe a hot topics for the past 10 years. About sustainability, the Singapore higher education institution in Singapore has kind of put sustainability courses as one of the mandatory courses for the students. European University also concerned with sustainability. And I think a couple of universities in Indonesia also are working on how to create curriculum for undergraduate students to teach sustainability. So in understanding about how game-based learning can play crucial roles in sustainability, the first thing we have to consider is about the context of sustainability. The context matters. In game or game-based learning, there's a game element called game narratives or game story. The stories mean everything in the game. This one is maybe not really relevant to our culture. So this particular game was designed in Halloween month. So we created robotics competitions designed with, like a Halloween theme on the game. Okay, I'm gonna move forward. So this might be one interesting game story or context for this time's issue about sustainability, about the AI. If you have read a report from MIT campus published in March or May, they published this study about the AI AI carbon footprints. Okay, so the growing number of AI companies this day, they created, lots of data center that require electricity, power, water supplies, right? So eventually, this growing number of data centers kind of influence the environment conditions across it. So I think it's really good discussion about ethical issues behind building data centers for AI. We are using AI. We are in desperately need of AI. Everything activity we ask AI. Hey, I don't know how what to eat this lunch. Can I ask ChatGPT? Hey, do you think what's the best food for lunch, for example, right? So all that small activity actually give a little consequences to the environment. If yeah, it's a little bit complex correlations. So yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for the enlightening presentations from Pak Taufik. Yes, if you go back for 4 or 5 years before in COVID-19, where everyone's or every sectors of us dealing with the technology, well, it arises a case that we discuss in our IDT course. The demand is that the effect of the technology will blow like a social or antisocial problem. So that's why on how we try to rise a kind of non-digital technology to be a part of, let's say we can apply in teaching and learning process. That's a kind of engaging teaching and learning process with current situations. Well, this is a very interesting discussion since we are faculty of education. Seems like really serious thing to be seen. Like we have to understand on these issues. So please for the Q&A sessions, we open for 3 questions only due to the time. So I'd like to invite the participants Do you have any questions? Yes. First, okay. Second, one by one, sir, or okay. For the first session, I'd like to invite two speakers or two questioners.
Okay.
Okay, please.
Warahmatullahi
Salam warahmatullah.
My name is Frini, MA Batch 4. I would like to ask about this game-based learning that also involve competitiveness, that it can be encourage and discourage children or the one involved in the game. How do we accommodate or mitigate this problem? Thank you.
Sure, yes. Mr. Taufik is answering the questions directly. Please, yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna answer it immediately before I forget my answer. Okay, so there are a couple of answer to that question, but it's very important to think about it to be reflective about whether we want to use competitions or we want to use any other social interactions, right? And there might be a various answer if you look up scholarly databases. And one of the study that was really famous conducted by Finland scholars in Tampere University in the gamifications research group. They found that in the parking apps that I showed you, they compared three different social interactions in that study: competition, individual, cooperations, and team competitions. And what they found based on this longitudinal study was that among of these three social interactions, they found out that the team intercompetitions was significantly producing better participations, a better accuracy in that cases. So, but it's not really like a silver bullet answer, right? If you apply it to the other context, you might find different answer. But this one just gives you alternative of answer that intergroup competitions, which means that you have this competition between group, not really individual. It creates more productivity compared to individual or cooperations. So hopefully it answers.
Okay, is that answers? Thank you very much. Let's move to the second questioners at the back. Yes, sir.
Uh, Thank you so much, Pa Ehsan, for the very interesting topic about gamification of learning. But I'm just curious, would it have detrimental effects on neurodivergent children? Like, will they be overstimulated if they are exposed much to gamified learning, and when they have to move to other school wherein there is no gamified learning system? I'm just curious about that. And another thing is, would it be applicable here, the Super Mario effect discussed by some expert on how complex learning can be translated into something simple that becomes part of the routine of the children in the school system? Thank you so much.
Really good question.
Okay. I'm gonna have to charge you money for asking that questions. I guess it's really difficult. I don't think I can answer correctly about the neuro diversity situations. I'm gonna defer it to Bu Vivi to answer that questions. How games can really influence neurodiversity. It's really far from what I'm investigating at this point. But I haven't really found any study that people are addicted to game-based learning. People are addicted to games are common, right? But people are addicted to learning. Wow, that's special. Okay, never found it. Okay, I want to addicted to learning, but it's easier to be addicted to games rather than learning. For example, like if you see the stats of Duolingo daily active user, you will see this pattern of in Duolingo, you have these strike features, right? Where you do not really stop on daily basis to check out Duolingo, complete the assignments, the challenges, you get the points. And no single study that shows any detrimental effects on psychological well-being of these Duolingo users in terms of their engagement with Duolingo. But I might be wrong. Maybe other study will tell us different story, but that's very normal. And I didn't really catch the second question. I'm real sorry. What is the second question? When we were forced quit games, overstimulating. Okay. Okay. Maybe I don't really grasp the idea 100% about the questions, but um, yeah, I think I would return to how do I put it correctly? I'm not sure about the answer. I don't know.
Okay, would you mind to
It's
repeat the questions just to make it
for the
clear?
second one.
Yeah, because it's a kind of scientific expressions.
Yeah, actually, the first answer was, I think, sufficient because it was about not really possibly affecting the addiction or not causing detrimental effects. But the second question was like something extra that I asked. It was about the Super Mario effect and would it affect the children who are exposed earlier to such learning system when they have to transfer or be introduced to the new environment wherein there was no such concept in the first place?
Okay, now I got it. Um, it's a difficult questions. I haven't really had any study to oversee the transitions or um, the early effects on the games exposure to the children, right, in terms of learning. But what I can say is that in terms of games, yes, they are addicted to children. If you use this perspective from Albert Bandura about the observational learning, he was really famous by his experiment called Bobo dolls, right? Where children are imitating the behavior of the model, right? So in this experiment, the children are observing how adults treat a Bobo doll. It's a I don't know if you are familiar with Bobo dolls. It's about the dolls filled by air. You can punch it and it goes back like that, straight up, right? So the children are really imitating the behavior of the adults when they are treating the Bobo dolls, and it also applies to game. When children are early on exposure to violence in game environment, there was a couple of study. It was really positive correlations between playing violent video game with the aggressiveness of children. It was apparent, but some study would say differently. It's not that simple. If you take a look at the correlations between playing violent video game and children misbehavior or aggressiveness, yes, it's correlating, but you have to consider lots of variables kind of playing in the middle of these correlations. I think that would be the best answer I can provide. Sorry.
Okay, how? Is it okay? Acceptable. Thank you very much. Do we have one more? Do we have one more? Oh, yes, in the online one. Okay. Is there any? Yes, this is the last question. It's gonna be Pak Sufyan. Okay. No? Wow. It's really understandable enough. Yeah. It okay. Oh, because there is nothing from the online participants, so we would like to give you the last chance. Then, okay, Mr. Ridwan. Yes, Mr. Ridwan's background and Mr. Taufik is just similar, educational technology. So it's gonna be a tough question, so yes, Pak Ridwan.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the opportunity. I think I have to appreciate Pak Taufik about concerning the non-digital technology on teaching and learning, since many people forget about the essence of teaching, that is interaction, not only transfer of knowledge, and it is truly an expression of values. Teaching is about expression of value. Online and digital learning should be used only to enhance learning or when the instruction is facing difficulties or obstacles at the original. So, but at the specific one, my question actually has been asked from the previous participant, but I would like to ask something others. Since in your presentation, we are having two different terms. One is game-based learning, and the other is gamification. That is two different entities, two different form of learning. When you said that the gamification is originally for the commercial and business use, but both, in one of your slides, you said that the most important thing about inserting game into instruction is story, making story and gameplay. Since I think in this room there are so many lecturers, including myself and Pak Taufik and Pak Leo also, and so many other lecturers wannabe or already become a teachers. Is there any suggestion from you, Pak Taufik, how we create or making a good story on constructing a game-based learning or gamification, and then managing quite simple gameplay so the student can understand what are we going to play, what the objective, what the goals, and then the game is becoming very interactive and very enjoyable of learning, and hopefully make the student addicted to learning. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is what I learned a couple months ago, is about storytelling. The skill of storytelling is really crucial in this period of time. I would say if I want to be a good teacher, a good educator, I have to be able to deliver story as a good storyteller. So that's why I learned from studying about the literature on game-based learning. So that's why I started in gamifications, not from game-based learning, because it's heavier compositions compared to gamification. In gamification, you can just use all these elements of games, points, leaderboards, anything related to fun thing about games. But in game-based learning, the most difficult part for me is to construct really meaningful game story that really touches emotions, hearts of the players. And it was extremely difficult. We have to really observe the real life situations. And what I found, what makes game story is interesting is that the one that has dilemma on it, the one that really sparks dialogue between the player. For example, So I studied this topic with a professor from Ritsumeikan University in Japan. So he developed this board game about environmental awareness. So the story goes like this. In this remote island of Japan, there was a growing stray rabbits, right? Rabbit fun. It's cute animal, right? So the local resident, they found this, wow, there's a growing or stray rabbits in our area. And eventually it became a tourism spot, attracts lots of tourists from any other Japan's region to visit that island. The economy is growing. People are benefiting from this phenomena, right? But there is a trigger warning beyond this phenomena. That is, the growing of stray rabbits is jeopardizing the inhabitants of species, local animals in that area. Right now, you have two options: whether you want to stop these populations of stray rabbits by, if you stop this, the consequences is visible. The economy might be jeopardized because there is no another tourism spot. But if you keep this growing of rabbits, the economy might be in financial, you are benefiting, but in terms of ecological of other species, it might be dangerous. So there's a dilemma inside that story, and also spark discussion, dialogue among of the players. I think one of the good story in games or game-based learning is about dilemma inside the story. I think that's the main takeaway that I learned. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Ridwan. That was the end of the Q&A sessions. On behalf of organizing committee, faculty member would like to give a huge appreciations for the insightful presentations from Pak Taufik. And I would like to invite the Honorable Dean of Faculty of Education, Prof. Nina, to give a token appreciations, our souvenir to the speaker today.
Thank you very much. Sebenarnya ke education sana ada. Mantap sana. Mama mau ikut berapa saudara tuh sih?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached to the end of our session today. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to give a huge appreciations on your participations and also attentions during our discussions today. Hope today's discussion has been meaningful and beneficial for all of us and applicable in our daily routines. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day ahead. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.